on to you, Pisces? Hopefully y'all are having a good day. So you actually have the Tower, 10 of Cups, and then you Pisces have the 6 of Swords here for you. So what's going on here for you, Pisces, is that y'all are very much so in a position where the Tower card, 10 of Cups, and the 6 of Swords really does speak about how things are working well for you in your favor, even though some things don't necessarily look like it. Because what I'm seeing here is that like there's some things that you Pisces are working through that emotionally as well as physically that you have to work over and be patient to when it comes to a certain amount of time. Because remember, we're in Mercury retrograde, like shadow time. So we're not going to get out of the Mercury retrograde until July 23rd. So because of the fact that we're not getting out of that until July 23rd, we're going to be in this Mercury retrograde for a while. We're in the shadow time of Mercury going retrograde. We'll probably be around full-blown retrograde, June 29th, because it's a week. So 22, it started on the 22nd. 22 plus 7 is the 29th. And then you have 3 weeks of it actually being full-blown Mercury retrograde. July 23rd, it stops. And then what ends up happening here with that is then a week afterwards, Mercury comes out of the shadow time. So that takes a week as well. So 23 plus 7 is 30. So by the time July 30th, Mercury goes direct in that sense. So why that's so important is because this is a time of great waiting. I know a lot of y'all don't like to hear that, but you kind of have to, because the reason why you should give yourself a chance is because a lot of you Pisces are determining for yourselves where it is next you want to go in your life. Like, what next big decision do you Pisces want to go? And you can have that. But the situation with you Pisces, though, is that y'all are in a position in your lives where if y'all are in a position in your lives, okay, where if you don't pay attention, you may end up choosing the wrong thing. So this Mercury retrograde is to get y'all to slow down for a minute so that you can actually pick and choose. And what I mean when I say the wrong thing, I mean like something that you're not even really going to be happy with in the long run. You know, it'll start off pretty cool, right? Or you might be neutral and you'll give it a chance, but you Pisces really may not like it in the long run. And so because of that fact, you have the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Swords. And so these two cards here for you are really a representation of how you're doing quite well, because the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Swords is not only that, but like also how well you're doing, you know, to the point where people still like you. You're still doing quite well. It's just that you're in a position now where you might be working a job, trying to figure out what's the next chapter of your life, right? How you're going to take this job, take it to the next level. I've talked about this before. You need at least 2 incomes. You know, maybe I didn't say it in a Pisces reading specifically, but you need at least 2 incomes. Minimum 2. The more you have, the better it is. But you need at least minimum. The lowest is 2, not 1. A lot of times people make that mistake. And again, there's nothing, let me say this too, let me clarify this. There's nothing wrong with having a job whatsoever. But what is wrong, if you ask me, is only having a job, not having anything else. And so that's exactly where it is that you Pisces are trying to figure out. Like how else would you gain your income, right? If let's take away your job, and I know a lot of you Pisces are hard workers, take your job away. What exactly would you do? How would you make money if you didn't have that job of yours? Now, again, I hope you don't get fired. I'm just saying, as an example, right? To get you to critically think. And so the situation is the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Swords is all about how you Pisces now, right, are thinking about it. But while you're thinking about it, you got a lot of people who want to come back because you have the 6 of Swords. right? People who know that you Pisces are laying low, because a lot of you are probably laying low. A lot of you are very quiet, more than likely around this time, because this is not a time of going out socializing, even though you're popular. Even though a lot of people may know you and may still kind of like give you a shout out and everything, a lot of you Pisces will probably still be quiet, or, be quiet about it. Don't even say anything. Um, you'll be quiet about it. Don't even say anything. Do your thing. And so now you have, I'm sorry. So now you Pisces have the Magician and the World card. So, oh, my cat going. Anyway, the Magician and the World card represents you're going through the cocoon phase right now. You're the caterpillar going through the cocoon phase to get to the butterfly, because what's happening here with you is that a lot of you Pisces are actually thinking about what goals you want to do and then figuring out what is the next step for you to get to that goal. Sorry, it's frozen solid ice in here, so I'm letting it melt. And so the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that you're in a position in your life now where, again, because of that fact, you Pisces are getting to where it is that you want to go. You're figuring out what goals you want to set for yourself, so where you could present yourself right to the world. Now, my suggestion is something that you Pisces like to legitimately do, but it fixes a problem. It brings value. When you add value to a crowd and you're willing to sell it, right? Value to people, that equals riches. Value, a crowd, and willing to solve that problem for other people. That's when it is that you get wealth, right? So a lot of you think about that, or buy businesses, right? Stocks is one thing. That's technically buying businesses, right? I know the jargon can be a little bit all over the place when it comes to some people. But another aspect of buying business is private equities. You go to a business personally that's in your neighborhood or wherever else privately, because it may not be on a stock market, and then you basically talk to them and make them an offer. Hey, if this, that, and the third, I want a certain percentage of the business, and every month I want to get paid out this. And if I reinvest back into the business, then I want a bigger share of the business, basically. Or I want to be paid this, that, I want to be paid a certain percentage because I've reinvested back. And so that's the situation, right? That's the situation. So the thing is that now you Pisces have the Queen of Wands and the Moon card. So the Queen of Wands represents now, Queen of Wands, the Moon card, and the Five of Wands, right, represents to not allow like anybody that gets in the way, because some of you Pisces may be dealing right now with some individuals who are taking you for granted a little bit, right? Who may be like, you may be going back and forth for some of you, right? Bickering with them because they figure they don't want to do this or whatever. They don't want to step their game up. And so now you may be telling them you have to, because relying on a paycheck isn't going to be a good thing. Wow, that thing's super low. But relying on a paycheck is not going to be a good thing for you. And then the thing about it is that the two of you could be going back and forth. But this could also be about how like you Pisces are becoming more and more popular as time go on. And so that means more people kind of calling your phone, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you may want to talk to them. Not necessarily because like you have anything against them or whatever, but it just may mean that you want to concentrate, they can't take it personally, and if they do take it personally, then they shouldn't. And so what ends up happening here is you have the Scorpio energy and the Seven of Wands. So the Scorpio energy and the Seven of Wands here for you, this is a representation again about how the Scorpio energy is about how this is a big time of transformation where like, right? And then again, the Seven of Wands. So like this is huge because The change is more important right now, right? You need a change, and the change is happening. That's what this Mercury retrograde is about. It's not really about stopping you Pisces from accomplishing your goals. That's not what this retrograde is about. This is about you getting to your goals by making the changes that you need, making you uncomfortable enough to be brave enough to make those changes that it is that you want. Some of you, like I said, some of you Pisces could be like going back and forth, arguing with somebody. Very small group of you, right? You and this person disagree. They want things to be certain specific kind of way, and you Pisces may be telling them that ultimately things have to change. And that change is required, sometimes, but they don't want to listen to what you Pisces have to say. So now it's this wild situation between you and them. And the thing is that you're not going to take seriously what it is that they're saying, because to you, you know that traditions ultimately, when they get outdated, they do have to change, which is very true. Love, money, everything, right? If you don't make the proper changes, you don't adapt. What happens when you don't adapt? You don't overcome, right? You Pisces they may figure they don't want you to, like, they don't want you to take a chance on it or whatever, right? But then it's like, well, what's the alternative, right? The alternative is staying with one income, right? Each, if you're living with the person. But then, especially with the job security and everything like that, security and everything like that, who's to say, right? And again, I'm not wishing that on you. I'm just saying a lot of you Pisces are thinking well-roundedly, like, no, you got to be good on all fronts. And so let's clarify the Scorpio energy. So to clarify the Scorpio energy, you Pisces actually have the Moon card, Two of Wands, Five of Wands, you see, bickering and arguing, Two of Swords, and the Hangman, which is Pisces. So you showed up in your own reading, right? Why this is so powerful in the first place is because the Moon, the Two of Wands, and the Five of Wands here for you is the Moon is really about, and the Moon is also Pisces as well. So you definitely did show up regardless of your arcana. Both of your major arcana showed up. And so this is about like a very powerful change that needed to happen. And so it's this sense of which this person either agrees or the two of you are not going to agree on it, and you're going to move through with it, or the two of you break up. Or it could be like people becoming more like people reaching out to you more, like you're more, like, how do I say, like you're more fly, or people are calling your phone more. And so the situation for you is that you don't really care one way or the other. And so, with that being said, what it is that you've got going on is, once again, you don't really care about all that, as far as if they don't like it. This could also be about like you making specific changes, right? Freeing yourselves up from doing specific things that you used to do that would crowd you from getting to where it is that you want to go, so that you can have more time to concentrate on what you want to do. But a lot of this stuff really will cause like disagreements or arguments. A lot of people will not approve of how you Pisces spend your time. But then again, it's your time. And for you, the thing is that the Two of Swords and the Hangman, they won't understand what you Pisces are doing. Now, granted, you Pisces are trying to make a way for yourselves, but they won't understand how you do it. And that's okay, because most people don't understand wealth and good fortune anyway. They don't understand that, you can't do a lot of the things that you have to. Excuse me. You can't do a lot of the things that you used to do, because those things will get in the way of your good fortune. So you have to drop out. You have to stop doing certain things in order to get to said good fortune. Like for instance, do I have all day to be hanging out on the block? hanging out with dubious characters. Absolutely not. So I don't. Because what's gonna happen? The YouTube channel is not gonna get to where it is that I want to go. And people will essentially move forward, right? And they may worry about me for a little while, but they will think that I'm starting to slack. And I would be. So comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever it is I drop my videos. Don't worry about it, Pisces. You're getting to where it is that you want to go. This is all a part of your journey. Just trust me. Come through for a personal reading. The link to that is in the comment section below. Call the Linktree link. If you're going to contact me for a personal reading, please make sure to leave your phone number. That way I can reach out to you and give you a reading.